In this video, we're going to look at dummy activities in project networks. Dummy activities sometimes need to be added into a project network to indicate the prerequisites for certain activities. For example, if we have activities A, B, C, D, and E with prerequisites nothing, nothing, B, AB, and D, and we attempt to draw a project network for this set of activities, we'll start with a start node. We then see that we can have A and B coming out of the start node. Next, we need to draw an activity C. C needs to come out of the node that B goes into. So if we have B going into this node and we have C coming out of that node, then activity C, the prerequisites for activity C have been met. Now the next activity that we need to add into our network is activity D, and it needs to have a prerequisite of both A and B. Now you might think, well, can't I just join A into this node and let D come out of that? But if I did that, I'd be upsetting the prerequisites for activity C, because activity C can be started as soon as B is finished. Activity C is not dependent on A at all. So if I was to join A's activity onto the node that C comes out of, then I'd be creating a false prerequisite there for activity C. So what I need to do is I need to add in another node, and this is a node which we're going to have activity D coming out of. Now, I've met the prerequisite of A for activity D, but what I need to do is indicate that before D can be started, B needs to be completed as well. So what I've done is I've drawn onto this project network what we call a dummy activity. I'm just going to highlight that there. So it's an activity. It's an activity that has 0 time, but what it represents is that we can't start activity D until both A and B have been completed. Now, this project ends with activity E. Its prerequisite is D. So E needs to come out of a node that D goes into. So we can draw activity E in there, and that's then the finish of the project. So C also goes into the finished node there. So what we've had to do in order to satisfy the prerequisites of C, which is only B, and the prerequisites of D, which is both B and A, we've needed to add this dummy activity in. The dummy activity shows that the prerequisite for C, and remember the prerequisites of an activity are all the activities that are going into the node that it comes out of. So C comes out of this node here. The only activities going in to this node that C comes out of is B. Alright, so B is its only prerequisite. If we look at activity D here, the activities that are going into the node that it starts on are activity A, and also this dummy node, which is an extension of activity B. So the activities that D requires being complete prior to commencing D are both A and B. So this is the scenario in which we need to add a dummy node. where we have one activity which has a single prerequisite and another activity that has that same prerequisite but also a second or third prerequisite. And that's dummy activities.